Hey everyone, so today's storing photocards video is probably the one I've been most anticipating in ages because I'm finally going to be storing away my ateez Golden Hour Part 1 cards that I've been accumulating for like the last 6 months, and also starting my Cravity Taeyong collection, which is basically all I've been hyperfixating on for the last 2 months. So this is the giant stack of Cravity cards I have. I think it's like 160. And then I have this giant stack of ateez, which is probably the same amount. So we're just gonna get started with ateez. The first 4 cards I have to put away are actually from a couple airs ago. So way back here in Outlaw era, I did some reorganization of my POBs, and it left this page kind of empty. And semi-recently, I decided to collect Son and Wooyoung's set from, I think this was signing up for their From messaging service, but they are from this era and have the exact same hair colors. So I thought they would be perfect to add to this page. And now this page is no longer empty. And that was the only thing for this binder. And the majority of the rest of the cards I have are for this binder. And this is where I've set up Golden Hour Part 1. The first few pages are for the album cards. Honestly, I rarely collect album cards consistently for ateez, so for this era, I just decided to collect Son and Wooyoung. So for these pages, I have their 6 regular album cards. And then on the bottom row, I decided to collect 3 out of the 4 of their digipack selfies. Since the digipack came with 4. So these 2 are the same concept, and this one doesn't match the middle, but I much prefer this concept than getting another one of this one. So that's Son's page, and then I have the same cards for Wooyoung. And here's his page. Then next up, I have 2 of the Polka album sets. First one are these outside cards. I love how bright and colorful these are, and a lot of times I don't mind if cards are non-selfies as long as they're not concept cards, because in my head there's a difference between a non-selfie and a concept card. And here's this page. And then the other set from the Polka album were the regular selfies. And I absolutely love this concept. It's like the perfect blend of neutrals and cozy indoor concept. And yeah, the other 2 sets of cards from the Polka album were both concept cards that were my favorite, so I just decided to not store those. And then on this page with the album cards, I have this set of merch cards. I'm not exactly sure what this is from, but it came with like a scratch card and OT8 set. So I'm just gonna put it with the album card section. There was actually 2 versions of this, but this one was by far my favorite because the selfies were this concept, which we didn't have any other selfies as album cards in these outfits. And they're the same outfits as these cards. Then next up, I have 2 Hello 82 sets. So the first one is the Spy set. Not gonna lie, this set isn't my favorite, but I just had all the members because I bought so many albums. So I might as well store them. Someone on Instagram actually so kindly gifted me this one. because they said they just had so many and were just looking to rehome them. And now we have the hug set. I much prefer this set to this one. Next up are my OT8 pop sets. This first set I think is like Japan Fan Cafe or something. I don't know, but I just wanted a set of selfies for OT8 in the golden hour concept. And then these next 4 sets are the extremely cute pop sets with props and plushies. So the first one are the mini record cards with these giant dog plushies. Ugh, these are just so cute and they're so big. Then we have From Store with the iconic Care Bear and Kirby hats. Not gonna lie, this irritates me, but oh well. Then next up we have the Make Star rain jacket set. Sorry, I don't really have much to say about these cards because I collected all of these so many months ago. And then the next 2 sets are the matching Red Riding Hood cards and the Wolf cards, both from Make Star. Literally so obsessed with both of these sets, and given the month we're in right now, the red is kind of giving Christmas. This Son card is probably in my top 3 Son Pops of the era. And then the last pop set I have that's kind of related to the era are these Apple Music pops from their Work to Live photo books. It's not necessarily the same as these, but this giant photo book thing did also come with album inclusion, so I figured these pops can just go with the rest of the era. And they're wearing the teeny little sombreros. Then for this page, I have 2 sets of the units that came with the Make Star rain jacket cards and then the Red Riding Hood cards. Rarely ever do I get the unit cards that come with pop sets, but I actually bought these 2 rounds of Make Star myself, so I didn't have to worry about sorting for the units. I just got them all with buying 8 albums, which if I'm going to buy albums myself, I much prefer when they're Poke albums because they're so much cheaper and less shipping. So happy to have all these. And then the last 3 pages for this era are my individual member pops. So this first page are for sets of Son and Wooyoung. So I think this card is like Everline. This is the Hello 82 Walmart card. And then I think this one is with Mew, but not positive. And then I have the Wooyoung equivalents. And I kind of collected these cards intentionally because these 3 outfits are the same outfits of these selfies that were my favorite. Then this next page is for matching sets of San and Yeosang, which this page is probably my favorite because they're all so bright and colorful. So the first 2 are the Hello Live cards in these green hoodies, which this is also my top 3 of the era. And last era, my favorite San card was also from Hello Live in a hoodie. So if this is a trend that their pops are gonna have, I need that to continue every era. Then in the middle, I have these Everline cards with the watermelon beach balls. And then last in the middle, these 2 music art cards. This card, Superior. And here is the San and Yeosang page. And then lastly, this page is for matching sets of San and Seonghwa. So the first 2 are these Make Star Lucky Draws. And these 2 cards are also top 3 of the era. If these weren't Lucky Draws, I definitely would have collected OT8 of those. Then I have these other Make Star Lucky Draws. Much more subdued, but I just really like the way they looked in these. And then the last 2 pobs are these Sailor Hat cards from KN Pobs. And that was all of the cards I had for this era. For this era, for like these pob pages, I kind of intentionally kept all the members on the same page because usually I'll collect another member with San's card, but it could be like Wooyoung Seonghwa or Wooyoung Yeosang Mingi, and they kind of just are all not consistent with the page. But for this era, this is the Wooyoung page, the Yeosang page, and Seonghwa. And I like that it's really consistent this era. Usually it doesn't bother me if they're not consistent, but this is just a happy coincidence, I guess. Yeah, that is everything I collected for Golden Hour Part 1. So units, then OT8 pobs. I didn't collect that many pob sets this era compared to how many I did last era, which was maybe like 25 or something. But this era was kind of in the back of my mind, so I didn't collect that many sets. But the ones I did collect are definitely all my favorites. Then the album cards, or the Poco album cards, and then San and Wooyoung's pages. Yeah, that was everything I had for Golden Hour Part 1. In typical me fashion, I always store each era like an era late, so Golden Hour Part 2 is already out. I have a small stack of cards accumulating for that. I'll probably collect a bunch more for that in terms of album cards, so I'm slowly trading and accumulating those and working on all the US exclusives because I really preferred those for Part 2 than Part 1. So I'm actually working on buying a bunch of albums and trading all those. That will all hopefully be in my next storing photocards video. But that was everything for this binder. Then the last 3 sets of ateez cards I have are for my merch binder. The first set I have are the Japanese Comeback Birthday Flash Price set. I didn't really collect much for this Japanese album, but this whole set of cards was like $5, so yeah. And I love the outfits they're wearing and how bright and colorful this page is. So here's these. And then this set is from ateez in Ice City. I think it was like a purchase benefit or something. This is one of the best Wooyoung cards of all time. This set is so good. And then the last set I have is from their most recent fan meeting. Love that they're all wearing headphones. And again, love the outfits they're wearing. Love that this set just looks so cozy. And with that, those are the last ateez cards I had for this video. Absolutely love all three of these OT8 merch sets, and I'm much more selective these days on which merch products I buy. Love all of these so much. Okay, and next up, onto Gravity, which I have been anticipating this part for the last 2 months. Like, working on this collection has basically been my one goal, and I'm almost done. I'm like 99% done, so now time to store all of it away. Also, just before we get started, can I just say, my boys won Road to Kingdom. Love them so much, so well deserved. They killed it every single week, without fail. I've never been more happy for them in my life. Please come back to America on tour after the next comeback. Like, I'm begging. But yeah, so if you missed my last video, I'm basically collecting Taeyang now. So 4 members of Gravity, kind of insane. And now I've decided to put them in the iconic Meow Cafe 12 pocket binder, because instead of just collecting Taeyang in place of Minnie, I decided why not just add him on and make collecting 25% more expensive for myself. So here it is. I've pretty much moved all of my former collection into this binder, and now I'll just be working on the Taeyang cards. Also, what delayed this video so long was that I was waiting to get more slim sleeves from Makari Japan, because instead of keeping all the cards in their original dragon shields, I decided to just move them into the slim sleeves because I wanted the slim pockets instead of the standard size pockets. So because I had to wait for the sleeves to get to the Bayou warehouse and then also have enough items to ship out a package, that's what took this so long, because I've had so many of these cards on hand forever. But yeah, we're basically just gonna go in chronological order, page by page. And I'll probably have a lot more to say because I just have anecdotes and stories from collecting them for so long. Here is the gigantic pile. So the first page, where they're all babies. Does this bother me? Yes, but nothing you can do about that. Then starting out with season 1. Also, there's a really annoying glare right here because the pages are folding over so bad, so. Okay, this looks awful, but I need something to lift these pages up with. Yeah, season 1. Then Cloud 9, their first summer package. Again, these colors are kind of horrible, but oh well. Then season 2. And then season 2 Hobbs. And genuinely so gagged that I already have these two, because if you know anything about collecting Gravity, these two MMT cards are some of the most difficult to get because they're literally so superior. So glad I already secured those. Then this page, these are both on the way already, and the card that goes here is honestly so horribly mismatched with these three, I'm debating just not even getting it because it makes me like irrationally angry how different that card is. So yeah, right now I'm just ignoring its existence. Then we have season 3 album cards. Then these are the Starship Square and merch sticker that are all in this same concept. Then season 3 Hobbs. This is one of my all-time favorite pages of this whole collection because the color tones and like matchingness of this page just is everything. Also, I love that they're like facing inwards to each other and they're on the outside. Yeah, this is just so good. Then all 3 of these are still on the way. Pretty much the last like 20 cards I need for this whole collection are all at Pokemarket right now. I'm just waiting to ship that. And then these are the last Hobbs of season 3. Then this is their second summer package. And sets like this that are merch products, I already had all of his cards because I bought all the merch products myself and therefore just had the full OT9 sets. So for a lot of these merch sets and then later pobs for later eras, I already had his cards. Then for all the unit cards for each era, they're just kind of awkwardly beat like this because I don't want to collect 3 more units because I curated these units to be in a specific layout, so I'm kind of fine with it just being awkwardly 9 cards. Then the Awakening, album cards, and then the Starship Square and Everline cards that are all in my favorite version. Then this set of pobs, I think I'm not going to collect Taeyong for them because, again, the card that goes right here is just so not good with these 3 that, like, it's bothering me, and I don't really want to bother getting these 2 either. And I considered just downsizing these 2 sets, like, getting rid of these 2 won't really bother me, but I couldn't get rid of 1 more out of, like, all I have left, and I didn't want to just have 1 page with 1 set on it, so this page is kind of just going to stay like this. And then almost all the pobs for this era are still at Pokemarket. It's like the last cards I left at the warehouse. But I do have this one. Then I think all of these are on the way. Then I have these 2. And 2 more on this page. So yeah, this is pretty much the last era that I still need pobs for, but I've bought all of them. They're just not on hand. Then this is one of their Season's Greetings. And Brianna actually had this K-Town pob just on hand, wanting to trade it. And I am so glad she traded this with me because these cards are honestly really hard to find. Also expensive because they're Season's Greeting pops. So that was like the biggest W ever, her just having this on hand. Then next up we have their C Delivery fan meeting. And frankly, I think this card that goes right here will be probably the last card I get for this whole collection because there's like 1 single listing for this card on Buy and it's like $60. So yeah, no thank you. I don't know how else I'll get this card because I managed to get these 2 by actually pulling them, like the 2 hardest members of the whole group I pulled, and then I bought this serum right when the fan meeting happened, so yeah, I guess unless I want to cave for the $60, then I'll buy this, but otherwise, I don't know where this is going to come from. Because this is already, like, a photo card that came with a merch product that was 1 out of 9, so these are already so hard to get anyway. Oh well. Then we have this page, which was their very first C Crew, and I have his right here. Then I low-key forgot I had these, but I have these little character cards from one of their tours. I think this was like a merch card or something. I don't really know because it has nothing to do with tour, but I think these came from a tour. And I'll probably never get this Taeyong because Lord knows where it's going to come from. I just found these, figured what better to fill up this page with more stuff. So have those. Then next up, Liberty, units, then the album cards. This is one of my favorite eras, photo card wise and just everything wise. So here is these. Then next up, the Starship Square, and 1 pop in my favorite concept. Then pobs. And then the last page. To this day, I have still not replaced this ribbon with Jungmo because I just don't want to pay for it, and honestly, one of the L's I feel like I'm just going to take forever. Then we have New Wave. If anyone remembers, this is actually the era I decided I was going to collect Taeyong. I set up my whole binder for it and everything, and then right when the era started, I completely abandoned that and collected Mini anyway. But all of these cards are actually like my original pulls and stuff because I collected all of his cards and then I claimed him in all of the group orders I was hosting and then proceeded to just not store any of them. This era I actually already had complete. All the Starship Square and all. So here are the album cards. Then all of the Starship Square and jewel cases. And then Pogs. And again, this is one of the sets where the Taeyeon card that went with my top 3 was so mismatching, I like couldn't stand it. So rather than just leave this blank and never get his card, I decided to replace the whole pop set that I already had collected with a new one. Because I was that for real about disliking the card that was supposed to go here. So I collected a whole new set. And I think these are like Apple Music. So now we have a new set for this page. I don't know why I didn't collect these originally this era, but this era I hardly collected anything, so that's why. Then next up we have another Season's Greetings. And this Season's Greeting pop I already had because when I was waiting to get this card, I had already pulled this one. And now, conveniently, I didn't need to rebuy it. This is one of the best pages ever also. Then next up we have Groovy Era, aka the best era of all time, where I have tons of cards. So first up, his album cards. And then the matching Starship Square and jewel case cards. Then more Starship Square and starting Pogs. And this is the era where I basically just started collecting OT9 sets to get my top 3 because at some point buying the full set was cheaper than getting my 30 individually because these two are really expensive. So all of this I already had on hand. Like I had all of these as OT9 sets already. So I did not have to buy that much for this era. So here are these. Then the next sets. And then the last Pobs for Groovy. Again, one of my favorite pages from this whole collection now. Then we have one of their fan meeting trading card sets. These are both on the way from Pokemarket. Same thing with this one. But I have one of his concept cards that I pulled ages ago. And then this fan kit card. Then tour cards. I already had all of these from when I had all my pulls. Here's this page. And then these are both still on the way at Pokemarket, but I have this photo book card. Then next up, Summer Sea Crew. So I have the mini one and then the summer one. And this is number 2 of the 30 cards I'm still missing. His flat Sea Crew doll photo card is basically nowhere to be found, nor is the doll, so I don't know when I'm ever going to find this. I feel like I'm just going to have to wait for it to randomly show up on Pokemarket or buy and be the first one to notice it. But yeah, I've been looking for this card for months and it is nowhere, yet every single other one of his Sea Crew cards is. Like all of Christmas, all of summer, everything. But yeah, this card has been proving very difficult to find. Then we have another photo book. So the Starship Square and the regular one for Dear My Levity. And this card is on the way. That's from Groovy Japan. Love this set so much. I paid so much money for these cards right here, and then found this one for like $4. So, yeah. And that was the last page of this binder. Honestly, my Cravity collection is so big that it does not fit in one of these Meow Cafe binders, so I bought 2 preemptively. Before I move on to the next binder, I'll do a big flip through. And that was binder number 1. Missing very few cards. Of the cards I actually cannot find, it's only 2, but everything else is either on the way or I'm kind of intentionally not purchasing it. But just those 2 cards are really the bane of my existence for this binder. Then we have binder number 2, which I got in purple. This binder starts at Sunseeker with so much room to grow, so yeah, hopefully this binder lasts way longer. Yeah, units, then starting with album cards. This is like my favorite era of photo cards ever. We got regular album cards, and then I would honestly say this is my favorite page of my whole entire collection. If I could ever get this card, don't know when I'm gonna get this card, it's probably gonna be a while. The most brutal thing ever is that there's a listing of this card on Buy for like $3 that says you cannot purchase from this seller. Like, it's literally dangling in front of my face every single day when I look for this card, and it is just so close yet 1 inch out of reach, and it's so painful. Oh my god, I need this card so bad so I can finish my favorite page of all time. So literally, if any Cravity collector out there has this card, sees this card, it basically looks exactly like this. His hand is in this position and he's wearing this red jacket, so please, I'm begging. But then moving on to Pops. So this card I have, but I accidentally thought it was for a different era and then didn't ship it to myself in my most recent Pokemarket order, because I was intentionally leaving all of the Awakening in that order and taking everything else, but I guess I thought this card was a part of that, so whoops. Then next page. I did some reorganization of this era so that the cards would look better, I guess. Love this page. All of these sets so much. Then this page, yeah, I did some reorganization because I got this Christmas card set. I think this is some kind of Christmas concert or fan meeting or something, but it's from this era, so I'm just gonna put them here since it's kind of matching. I don't know, not really, but I needed something to put here. And yeah, my rationale was that this is red, he's wearing pink here, I don't know, something. They just needed to go here. And this page kind of works, but also not really. Then on this page, which is by far my favorite page of the era, we have the last Christmas cards and the bunny cards. And yeah, this page, flawless, stunning, cutie-full, amazing. Then we have this page, which is Dilly Dally era. Also, funnily enough, so this card right here is actually not the card that matches these. So there's this one, which looks like it belongs to this set because it's more zoomed in, and then there's this one, which is less zoomed in, and that just bothers me slightly. But this one is beige, and this one is green, and all of these have beige backs. So yeah, I really just want this card to be the one showing. So just stack these on top of each other and you will never know the difference. So the back still matches, and the card that I want showing is on the front. There's that. Then next up, Season's Greetings, and then Tour concert DVDs. Then one of my favorite pages ever, the Winter Sea Crew. I used this for the thumbnail. So we have his bunny lucky draw, and then his winter little snowman, and then I also have all of my other members of their regular Christmas Sea Crew. And yeah, this page, so cute, so adorable. Love Sea Crew so much. It's kind of my obsession right now to just collect so many more plushies. Also, it's perfect season because today is December 2nd when I'm filming this. Also, these bags, nothing will ever top Cravity Sea Crew photocard bags. Then the most recent era, Evershine. Here's the units. And then almost everything I have left is all Evershine. So here are his album cards, which I low-key already had because kind of in the background of this era, I decided I wanted to collect him. Then Digipack, Starship Square, and this Soundwave Lucky Draw. This is one of my favorite sets of era. Then all of my pods. I think I might have reorganized these since my last video. We have these 3 sets, which are all like music video outfits. And then I tried to put all these in chronological order from like the outfits they're wearing. This is one of my favorite pages of the era as well. And I think this is actually my favorite Taeyong card from Evershine. I love this card so much. I don't even know why. I mean, it looks similar to most of the other ones, but this one hits different for me. Then this page. This card is also probably my top 2 or 3 Taeyong cards. And I have a set on the way that's going to go right here. And then I have the last 2 cards for this set, including minis. And then on this page, I have this card and this card. And this whole set is on the way as well. Yeah, those were all of the Evershine pops I had. Another thing about this era is the photocard packs are all so consistent, and I love the Evershine font, so kind of obsessed with all of these backs. Like, they're so consistent with each other. Then on this very last page, I have the cards from their most recent fan kit. And he did this for me, absolutely obsessed. The green shirt, the tennis racket. Tennis is like my favorite sport ever. Yeah, this card, so important to me. But yeah, that is all of the cards I currently have prepared, and the introduction of my brand new and improved Cravity collection with a 4th member. Also, binder upgrade, just everything about this is everything I have ever wanted since like 5 years ago. The day has finally come. My vision has come to fruition, and I cannot be more happy. This was all so worth it. It was also not that hard to do. Taeyong is incredibly easy to collect, and Cravity as a whole is just cheap in general. So literally 0 regrets. I am so happy this went so well, and I accomplished this so easily, because if this was difficult, I probably would have given up. But best decision ever. I am so happy with how all of this looks, and it honestly made my love for this collection just grow even more, because for so long I've always said this is my 2nd favorite collection to work on after my ateez collection, and yeah, that's literally never stopping anytime soon. But yeah, with that, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. Only stored away 2 groups today, but honestly my 2 most important collections, so this is basically what 85% of all my storing videos consist of anyway, so hope you enjoyed nonetheless. And if you don't know much about Cravity, you can at least see my collection come to life. But yeah, this was probably my last storing photocards video of the year. In a couple weeks, I'll be filming my updated photocard collection video, which I don't think I've made one of those in like a year and a half at this point, so I am definitely in need of an update. So I hope you all look forward to that as well. And with that, thank you all so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next video.